3 months pass in the show before Ellie and crew leave Jackson to avenge Joel's death. This change from the game, where Ellie leaves almost immediately, makes more sense for the TV show when you consider the state Jackson is in after the fight with the infected. As this fight doesn't happen in the game, and Ellie isn't bedridden for 3 months, it's understandable why they leave so quickly. Episode 3 put the nail in the coffin for the final Joel and Ellie conversation that we don't see until the end of The Last of Us Part 2. It's an interesting choice and a tough cutscene to exclude from the show, but I believe they're doing it to show how Ellie will have to live the rest of her life with the regret of not talking to Joel one last time. Now we visit Joel's house, which is a touching part of the game that allows you as much time as you want to not only remember Joel, but to see how he was remembered in the community. The cards and flowers are there like the game, but they show age and neglect with the 3 months that have passed. The signs of neglect continue as Ellie walks into Joel's house, and we can see the dust build up, which instantly reminded me of Bill's house in the show when Joel and Ellie get there. A place that was once taken care of, now forgotten. We don't get Dina in the house just yet, but we do get some good Easter eggs inside there, like the wood carvings, the guitars, the watch and the revolver in the shoebox, and of course, Ellie smelling Joel's coat to see if she could pick up his scent one last time. I was a little surprised we didn't get the coffee cup, but we do get a little nod to Joel's favorite pre-outbreak beverage a little bit later on. And as Ellie takes a peek into her old bedroom, if you look very carefully at the top of the dresser, there is a black hat sitting on top of that. That hat looks very similar to the hat that Ellie tries so desperately to get Joel to wear in the flashback when they go to the Wyoming Museum for Ellie's birthday. So whenever we get that flashback in the show, just keep your eyes peeled to see if that hat makes an appearance. We once again get a Tommy swap for Dina where she brings Ellie the food to make sure she's eating before discussing the fight ahead. Dina underestimates the WLF strength in this scene based on her memory of Eugene's description of them. In game, Tommy exercises more caution as they don't know their strength. This is the moment in game when Ellie tells Tommy that Joel would be halfway to Seattle by now. And in the show, she delivers the same line just a tiny bit later. We get the Seraphite introduction, and it shows them in a more human nature and not an instant combat mode like we see in the game. Seeing the casual dialogue between the dad and daughter makes them seem more normal, which is a very necessary show addition. We get the town hall meeting where they hear everyone out and take a vote on 16 people leaving Jackson to deal with Abby's group. We don't get this in-game as Tommy, Ellie, and Dina leave not long after Joel's death. The show has set the precedent that Jackson operates as a community, so the scene isn't really surprising. The Seth redemption arc is not something that I had on my Jackson whole bingo card, but it was a great addition to the show as we get to see this character have a little bit more bite to him and nuance than we ever get in the game. Ellie and Dina take off from Jackson before Tommy leaves, which is the other way around in game. Ellie and Dina spend the better part of 3 days trying to catch up with Tommy and combine their strength to take down Abby. Surely Tommy and Jesse won't be far behind when they find out, but it does make you wonder how things in Seattle may play out differently with this little change. We get the cemetery scene, and it's not quite across the street from Joel's house. In fact, it's 10 miles south of Jackson, but a very necessary scene, and I'm glad they kept it. Ellie sprinkles the coffee beans on Joel's grave, which was a nice nod to Joel's passion for the hot drink. I do have to wonder about riding on horseback 10 miles out of your way before embarking on the second biggest main quest of your life, but now I'm just nitpicking. The dialogue between Ellie and Dina as they approach Seattle was very similar to the game as they discussed their first kills. The kiss rating makes its way from the library in-game to the journey to Seattle as Ellie is the one this time, scoring it as a 6 instead of Dina. Dina throws up similarly in-game, a little bit further ahead in day 1, which seems innocent at first, only to find out later that it's masking a more serious conversation. In-game, this introduction to the other faction in Seattle, the Seraphites, doesn't happen until Ellie and Dina arrive at the TV station, which makes me wonder if we'll see it in the show at all, as Leah's not a part of it. So that's all I've got for you guys here on this one. Let me know what you think in the comments about this week's episode, and I'll catch you further down the path.